Good morning, everyone. It's Sandeep Kumar Sahu. Welcome back to our online class of iron making. In our last class, we have studied about oxygen potential of gas inside a blast furnace and how it changes during its travel from bottom to top of the blast furnace. And today, in the second part of this lecture 6, we will discuss, continue uh, lecture 6. And in this lecture, we will discuss about FeO and carbon phase stability diagram, direct and indirect reduction in blast furnace, and about the carbon efficiency inside a blast furnace. We have seen in our previous lecture that the oxygen potential of the gas fluctuates when it passes through the alternative layers of ore and coke inside a blast furnace. But when the temperature decreases to 900 degrees centigrade, the oxygen potential continuously goes on increasing, and carbon monoxide percentage in the gas decreases respectively. So, only Fe2O3 to Fe3O4 reduction takes place in the upper part of the furnace, along with some amount of Fe3O4 to FeO reduction. But FeO to Fe reduction takes place in the lower part or the lower middle part of the blast furnace. Because there the CO percentage is high enough, that means oxygen potential is at the lower side. And all we talked about was indirect reduction. That means by carbon monoxide. So let's discuss the iron, oxygen, carbon phase stability diagram. It's of much importance in blast furnace iron making because iron ore reduction can be easily understood by this diagram. We generally talk about oxygen potential of a gas, but it is more relevant to consider the carbon monoxide percentage in a carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide gas mixture for the reduction of iron oxides. Or in other words, the reduction potential of the gas, which is taken in the y-axis, with temperature in the x-axis, the S-type curve. This is the S-type curve. This look like a S. This S-type curve in this diagram represents the carbon monoxide volume fraction or volume percentage in a carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide gas mixture in equilibrium. This tells about the gas composition at any instant of temperature and reveals that as the temperature increases, carbon monoxide becomes more and more stable. This we have seen from the Ellingham diagram also. So as the temperature increases, CO percentage in the gas mixture increases and 100% CO is available at temperature above 900 to 1000 degrees centigrade. Above 900 to 1000 degrees centigrade, it is at 1000 degrees centigrade, it is almost 100% of CO in the mixture. This line, this S-type curve is detected by the Bourdieu reaction. What is Bourdieu reaction? It is the important reaction which gives the gas composition inside a blast furnace at a given temperature. The reaction is CO2 plus C gives rise to 2CO. Okay. This is a reversible reaction and depends upon temperature and the pressure of the process. We can see the CO line with the negative slope. We have seen this one. in the Ellingham diagram that indicates when temperature increases, CO becomes more and more stable, and the Bourdieu reaction shifts towards the forward direction. The forward direction reaction predominates, which is also called as forward direction reaction is also called as solution loss reaction or carbon gasification reaction. That means CO2 plus C gives rise to 2CO. The forward direction reaction is called your solution loss reaction or carbon gasification reaction, which generates the reducing agent. This reaction is highly endothermic and has a very large activation energy for chemical kinetics. Therefore, it proceeds at an appropriate rate only at sufficiently high temperature. So, temperature relationship tells that at higher temperature, the forward direction reaction is preferred. Next, the role of pressure. When pressure increases, the Bourdieu reaction shifts towards the backward direction. That is CO 2CO gives rise to CO2 plus C, the backward direction reaction. This backward direction reaction is also called as Normann's reversion reaction, which is responsible for the carbon deposition at the lower temperature zones at a blast furnace stack. That's why it is also called as backward direction reaction, also called as carbon deposition reaction. In this diagram, carbon monoxide carbon dioxide equilibrium line, the S-type curve, okay, is superimposed on the various iron oxide equilibrium lines. One often can get the Fe2O3 Fe3O4 line in this diagram. Some diagrams may have this line as a dotted line. Here it is given as a dotted line. Okay, dotted line at the bottom of the plot. As we know and also calculated in the last class that a negligible amount of CO, presence of a negligible amount of CO can reduce Fe2O3 to Fe3O4. That means hematite to magnetite reduction is instantaneous with a negligible amount of carbon monoxide, presence of negligible amount of carbon monoxide. So this line doesn't get much scope in this equilibrium diagram. Okay, in some diagrams it may not be present. Okay, above this dotted line, the Fe3O4 FeO line is present. This is the Fe3O4 FeO line. Okay, and if we go further upward, then we will find the FeO to Fe line, FeO Fe equilibrium line. Okay, these two lines start at a temperature of 572 degrees centigrade. The nodes. So this may be at this 572. 572. Okay. That means that it indicates that the reduction below this temperature doesn't produce FeO. That means Fe3O4 is reduced to Fe in this temperature zone. That means before this nodes, the Fe3O4 will be reduced to directly Fe rather than going through this step, that is Fe2O3, Fe3O4, FeO and Fe. It will go directly Fe3O4 to Fe. Okay. So if we choose any line, it will give us the equilibrium percentage of CO at a particular temperature. Okay. The vertical line intersects, let's take 900 degree centigrade line. This line intersects at 20% CO, 20% CO, Fe3O4 FeO, Fe3O4 FeO, that is 20% CO, and FeO Fe line at about 70% CO. This point is about 70%. Okay, 70%. what do we get from these points? Means this data. What does it mean really? It means that percentage utilization of CO is 80% for Fe3O4 to FeO conversion at 900 degrees centigrade, but it is only 30% for FeO to Fe conversion. As a result, we can write the respective equilibrium reactions like FeO plus 3.3 CO equal to Fe plus 2.3 CO plus CO2. Then where does this 3.3 factor come from? This is because here the utilization is only 30%. So 100 by 30 gives rise to 3.3. Likewise, for magnetite, Fe3O4 plus 1.25 CO equal to 3 FeO plus 0.25 CO plus CO2. So 1.25, where does it come from? It comes from 100 divided by 80. That will be 1.25. Okay. CO and CO2 balance is also as per the CO-CO2 equilibrium line. Okay. If you go for the equilibrium line, then that will be satisfying that one. Okay. That is 2.3 plus 1. Okay. 2.3 CO plus 1 CO2. That will be the FeO. Okay. And this will be 0.25 and 1 CO2. Okay. That will be 70%. Okay. But these are the equilibrium lines. But when we are talking about a practical blast furnace, then the actual gas analysis goes far behind this. So it indicates that the red line indicates the actual furnace gas utilization, analysis. So its utilization factor is very less. So next we will study about the direct and indirect reduction in blast furnace for CO utilization. So we have some idea about direct and indirect reductions. What is direct reduction? Direct reduction means reduction by carbon. Let's have an example. FeO plus C gives rise to Fe plus CO. Okay. So this reaction taking place with the help of solid carbon. Okay. But the solid-solid reaction doesn't last for long. Though it looks like solid-solid reaction, but actually it takes place by gaseous intermediates like carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. This reaction is generally a combination of two other reactions. One is your FeO plus CO gives rise to Fe plus CO2. Another is your CO2 plus C gives rise to 2CO. That means FeO is reduced by carbon monoxide and the generated CO2 is utilized in gasifying the carbon to carbon monoxide, which will again ready for the reaction. Okay. So this direct reduction is endothermic in nature and it takes place at the lower part, means higher temperature zone, lower part of a furnace, higher temperature reaction. Okay. But it is carbon economy, because in case of your indirect reduction, if we go for the indirect reduction, then if we compare this FeO reaction, then what is the here only 1 unit of carbon is utilized, but here 3.3 moles of carbon monoxide are utilized. So your direct reduction is carbon economic, but indirect reduction is carbon expensive. And also as indirect reduction can take place at the stack region, so upper part of the furnace, indirect reduction can be seen Fe2O3 to Fe3O4 conversion, Fe3O4 to FeO conversion, and at the bottom generally there may be direct or indirect reduction of FeO, that means the oocyte, okay, in the high temperature zone. Okay, but indirect reductions are exothermic in nature, so it will provide some amount of heat. Then we will talk about carbon efficiency. Carbon efficiency means what? So first of all, we should we know that our blast furnace is a counter current reactor. Okay, so the CO, generated CO from the TOR level, goes from bottom to TOR level to the top of the furnace. Okay, top of the furnace. The iron oxide it encounters first is the oocyte, because we know that at the top part of the blast furnace, Fe2O3 to Fe3O4 and Fe3O4 to FeO reduction can take place. Okay, so to improve or to optimize the CO utilization, carbon monoxide utilization, the carbon monoxide generated during the direct reduction of FeO should be just sufficient to take out the rest oxygen from the ore via indirect reduction. That means whatever the carbon monoxide is generated during the direct reduction of oocyte should be sufficient for the rest of the indirect reductions. Because we know that the direct and indirect reduction, both the direct and indirect reduction of oocyte can take place. Okay, so we have to optimize the ratio so that the maximum amount of carbon monoxide is utilized inside a furnace, so that less amount of coke consumption, that means carbon consumption, will be there. So let's analyze mathematically. So let's take 1 ton or 1000 kg of iron as a basis. Okay, so hematite ore Fe2O3. So oxygen with Fe2O3 per 1000 kg, per ton kg of iron will be what? 48 by 112 into 1000. It will be 429 kg. 48 means 3 oxygens and 2 per 2 iron. So 2 into 56 and 3 into 16. That is 48 divided by 112. That will be giving 429 kg of oxygen in the ore. Okay. If when we are talking about Fe3O4, then it will give 381 kg of oxygen. Okay, it means for reducing hematite to magnetite, we have to remove 429 minus 381 equal to 48 kg of oxygen. Okay. Similarly, oxygen with oocyte means FeO 1.06. Okay, generally what is oocyte? Oocyte is a non-stoichiometric material. Okay, so FeO, it is simply written as FeO, but it is not 1:1 ratio. Okay, anyway, so FeO per 1000 kg of iron will be 302 kg. That means for reducing magnetite to oocyte, we have to remove 381 minus 302, that will be 79 kg, or it is round of your 80 kg. Okay, it is 48 kg and this is 80 kg. Okay. This amount of oxygen has to be removed. That means maximum oxygen is associated in the oocyte to be removed, about 302 kg. Okay, we know oocyte reduction can be taking place by both direct and indirect reductions. If we can partition the oxygen to be removed by the direct and indirect reduction effectively, then gas utilization can be improved, which economize the carbon consumption also. Okay, the proper partition of oocyte reduction will economize our process. Okay. So generally, what is the CO utilization or gas utilization? That is percentage CO2 divided by percentage CO plus CO2. Okay, that is CO utilization. We will calculate it later on. Okay, let's take the optimum amount of oosteite oxygen to be removed by direct reduction to be Y kg. Okay, Y kg we have chosen or we have taken to be reduced directly. Okay, so what will be the indirect reduction available oxygen for indirect reduction? That will be 302 minus Y kg of oxygen. So as to make the process optimum, the CO evolved by the direct reduction should be equal to the CO required for the indirect reduction of the oosteite. So what are the reactions? What are the direct and indirect reduction reactions? We have studied about FeO plus C gives rise to Fe plus CO. This is the direct reduction. FeO plus 3.3 CO equal to Fe plus 2.3 CO plus 2 plus CO2. Okay, these are the equilibrium reactions. So from this we have to calculate. Okay, in indirect reduction, indirect reduction, 1 mole CO is produced per mole oxygen. For Y kg of oxygen, then what will be the amount? Y by 16 kg mole of CO. Okay, Y by 16 kg mole of CO will be produced. That should be equal to kg mole of CO required by indirect reduction. That is 302 minus Y divided by 16. Okay, into 3.3. Okay, 3.3 factor, where does it come? Because 3.3 moles of CO is required for indirect reduction. That factor is not in case of direct reduction because it is a single unit of carbon. Okay. So when these two are same, means equal, then we can optimize the reduction processes. Okay. So this will give us Y equal to 232 kg. That means out of 302 kg, we are 302 kg of oxygen associated with the oosteite. We are reducing 232 kg directly, means directly by direct reduction. It is about 54%. Okay, 54% direct reduction. That means 46% is indirect reduction. Rest reactions are indirect reductions of 46% only indirect reduction. Okay. So the total ore oxygen to be removed, the total ore is containing how much? 429. Okay, 429 minus 232. This has been reduced by direct reduction. So it will be giving rise to 197 kg. 197 kg means it will be divided by 16. It will be giving 12.3 kg moles. Okay, 12.3 kg moles. Okay, that much amount of oxygen or oxygen to be removed. Okay, that is equal to the kg mole of CO2 produced. The kg mole of CO2 produced during that reduction process. Okay, which reduction? Indirect reduction, because indirect reduction it produces carbon dioxide. Direct reduction produces carbon monoxide. So the indirect reduction, so for every reaction there will be 1 mole. 1 mole will give you 1 mole of CO2. Okay, so CO produced. Okay, how much amount of CO produced? The CO produced by the direct reduction. The CO produced by the direct reduction of oosteite, that will be 232. Okay, 232 kg direct reduction. So 232 by 16, it will be giving 14.5. Okay, 14.5, and we have 12.3 CO2 produced. Okay, so CO2 by CO ratio, that is the efficiency. Efficiency will be 85%. If we talk about the efficiency of indirect reduction in case of Woostite, okay, how much? That will be only 30%. Okay, 70% in equilibrium means what? Only 30% is there. Okay, so what are the requirement of carbon? Carbon required, that will be 14.5 into 12. 14.5 into 12, that will be 174. Okay, that will be 174. The CO that will come up after IDR means indirect reduction of Woostite. That means 14.5 into zero point 0.7, that will be 10 point that will be 10.15 actually. That will be 10.15. Okay, 10.15 kg mole. Okay, so that will be available. This amount of carbon monoxide will be available for reduction of higher oxides. Okay, this amount of carbon monoxide will be available for reduction of higher oxides. But what is the requirement actually? The CO requirement for higher oxide reduction, that will be 80. That was 79, but round of it was 80. 80 divided by 16 means with respect to oxygen, okay, into 1.25. That was the factor. Okay, 1.25. Then 48 by 16. 48 by 16 equal to 9.25 kg mole. That means our requirement is only 9.25, but the direct reduction of Woostite is giving us 10.15 kg mole. That means it is more than sufficient for the reduction of our higher oxides. Okay, so the efficiency has been increased from 30% to 85%, and also carbon consumption is also decreased to 174 kg. Okay, so in this way we can optimize our coke consumption inside a blast furnace. For different direct and indirect reduction in blast furnaces, different proportions, we can calculate the percentage CO utilization and carbon consumption also. Okay, here is a table for 100% direct reduction to 100% direct reduction to 100% indirect reduction. Okay, so different values are there. Okay, so among this, so what we have studied about 54% direct reduction and 46% indirect reduction. This is the optimum one. Okay, which uses minimum amount of carbon. That means 174. Okay, and maximum CO utilization, that is 85% CO utilization. Along with the CO by CO2 ratio is also minimum, that is about 20%. Okay, 0.2. Okay. If we are talking about 100% indirect reduction, okay, 100% indirect reduction, so the carbon consumption increases drastically high. Okay, 747. Okay, so from this table we can know different proportion direct and indirect reductions and their output values, and we can judge that what should be the optimum conditions and optimum combination of direct and indirect reduction inside a blast furnace. So that's all for this class. If anyone has any doubt, they can ask. Thank you.